Mr. Collins. I'll be taking you for biology for this short vacation. So, I'll go straight to the point. Our lesson for today, as you can see on the blackboard, is structure of a bacterial cell. Already, you people know about what a bacterial cell is all about. You know about the characteristics of a bacterial cell. We had first of all talked about the fact that a bacterial cell is a prokaryote. That is why it falls under the kingdom prokaryote. And we also learned before you went on vacation that the bacterial cell is the smallest cellular microorganism on earth. So don't confuse a bacterial cell with a virus. A virus is the smallest organism on earth, but a bacteria is the smallest cellular organism. So take note of that. We also talked about the fact that the study of bacteria is called bacteriology. So, but today we'll be focusing on the structure of a bacterial cell. So, if you look clearly on the board, this is a simple, clear structure of a bacterial cell. You can never study the structure of an organism without you knowing how to draw that organism. So the first assignment I give to you people is for you to learn how to draw this bacterial cell so well without you looking. Good. So we are going to look at each part of this bacterial cell. I'm going to tell you the characteristics of each of the structures or each of the parts that you see, and I'm going to tell you the functions of each of those parts that you see. We're going to look at the different parts of the bacterial cell and their functions. Now, this is very important for our comprehension of the structure of the bacterial cell. Now, if you look on the board, you are going to see the structure of the bacterial cell. We are going to take each of the parts one after another. We will start from the top and then move round. It is numbered from number 1 to 8. So we'll go from number 1 structure, number 2 structure, number 3 structure, right up to number 8, the 8th structure. Now, number 1 structure, that structure number 1 is the cytoplasm, as you can see on the board. The cytoplasm is where all the organelles of the cell are found, and that is where the function of the cytoplasm is that it is where a metabolic reaction for the life of the bacteria takes place. So inside the cytoplasm, you have water, majority is water. Then you have enzymes, you have proteins inside the cytoplasm. The function is it is the area where metabolic reactions for life takes place. Now, uh, the second structure, structure number 2, is the genetic material. You realize that in the characteristics of the bacteria, they say that the bacteria does not have a true nucleus. And it is for this reason that you see the genetic material lying in the inside of the cytoplasm, just lying there. Normally, the genetic material is supposed to be inside an enclosed structure called the nucleus. But now, it's not inside that enclosed structure, it's rather just lying in the middle of the cytoplasm of the bacteria. So that is how it is for bacteria. Now, what's the function of the genetic material? The genetic material is for reproduction. We go to structure number 3. Structure number 3 is called the flagellum. In some bacteria, you have more than one flagellum. And when it is more than one flagellum, we call it flagella. And the function of the flagella is for movement. Now, the next structure, that's structure number 4. Look towards the board, you are going to see these structures. Structure number 4 is called the pili. The pili is like a hair-like structure that is coming out from the slime capsule. Slime capsule is structure number 8. So you discover that the pili is like hair, like small, small hairs that are coming out, protruding out of the slime capsule. The function of the pili is for attachment to surfaces. So it helps the bacteria to attach itself to different surfaces. Now, structure number 5 is the ribosomes. You can see it on the board, the ribosomes. The ribosomes are organelles inside the bacteria, and this is where proteins are produced. We call that where protein synthesis take place, where proteins are produced in simple terms. The next structure, that structure number 6, is the cell membrane. The cell membrane is a bilayer. When you go higher, you are going to see how the cell membrane looks like. What's the function of the cell membrane? It controls the substances that enter into the cell, and the substances that goes out of the cell. So in other words, in a summary, it controls the going in and going out of substances in the bacterial cell. That is it for the cell membrane. The noun part number 6. As I'm talking, look at the diagram. Look at the diagram on the board. When you look at the diagram on the board, you see part numbers. We have talked about part number 6, which is the cell membrane. Now let's go to part number 7, which is the cell wall. The cell wall is the protective structure of the cell, of the bacteria cell. And as I told you people, we saw in the characteristics, is made up of chitin. It's made up of murine, pardon me. It's made up of murine. And this murine helps in the protection of the bacteria. Remember that murine is a combination of polysaccharides and proteins. So this murine helps in the protection of the bacterial cells. So the main function of the cell wall is for protection. Now, the next and the last part is part number 8. Part number 8 is the slime capsule. The slime capsule has about two functions. But in structure, the slime capsule is gummy, like the word slime. It can gum. That's why they say it's gummy. It can gum on surfaces. So the first function is that it also helps bacteria to attach to surfaces. Another function of the slime capsule is that it helps bacteria to form a colony. A colony is when many bacteria come together and join themselves together to form a bunch, to form a kind of group. Yes. So, and for them to be able to join themselves together to form that colony, they need the slime capsule is very important. So the slime capsule help the bacteria to form a colony. So these are the necessary parts of a bacteria that you are expected to know. There are 8 of them. We have gone through it from part number one, which is cytoplasm, to part number 2, which is the genetic material, to part number 3, which is the flagellum, to part number 4, which is the pili, part number 5, which is the ribosomes, part number 6, which is the cell membrane, part number 7, which is the cell wall, and part number 8, which is the slime capsule. Good.